Hello and welcome to this dev stream where rather than working on Coppice or working on Streamline, we're going to be working on the overlay, and specifically we're going to be working on the new 3D overlay. So if I just get things set up, and then we can swap over. How we could do if this was working. Don't want that. Here to have lost. Ah, I know what's probably gone wrong. That's what we want. That wants to be 0. There we go. That is looking more like it. And voila! Don't know why that is appearing like that. This is the first time properly using this. I've ended up having to switch to using a display capture because window capture was being very laggy. Okay, and then take this down to here. There we go. Success! So, I apologise for all that. It has been, well, it has been a bit of a mess getting all this done, but I'm here now. And it's very laggy. Not sure why. It haven't been this laggy before. Let's just open up 50 monitor. Wait for this to load. Yeah, we're working, but we're not working very fast. Oh well. These are all things that we're going to have to fix over time. The thing I've learnt about 3D streams, things break. Such as me clipping there. And the crunchy frame rate. But we'll be able to do that. It doesn't seem to be any dropped frames in OBS, it is just dropped frames here. I wonder if I stick stats on. Yeah, that is some crunchy frame rates there, dropping down as low as 6. I don't exactly know why that is the case. It's not because we've got Blender on there, is it? Oh, maybe it was. Because that is consistent. So if I move that off there as well, what frame rates do we get now? I mean, we're still not getting ridiculous frame rates, but these are all things that we'll be able to work out in time. But if I move that there, if I move that back over, oh yes, it does not like Blender being on a 4K display while Unity is going. Or is it doesn't like stuff appearing over Unity? Let's put something over Unity. No, it doesn't seem to be that. Okay. Well, we're here. We have our stream. We now know at least one thing that seems to be going wrong, and I have absolutely no idea why. I mean, Unity is in the background, so I mean, if I was to go here and bring Unity to the front, doesn't make a difference. I bring Blender to the front, doesn't make a difference. So yeah, it just doesn't like Blender on a big display. Anyway, so you may be wondering, where are we? What is this place? Well, this is the spaceship. And we are currently not in space, as you can see out the window. If I go over here, you can see above us, only sky, as John Lennon once said. But we also have no controls on our control console, and our holotable does not work. Also, I am not Pilkybot, I am Pilkybox. And I apparently am floating above the ground, so my collider is wrong. But there is not much in here at the moment. As I say, we've got an empty console. We have a holotable that doesn't work. We've got some doors over here that don't actually do anything. I have realised that there is actually a door here that you will not be able to see because of where the camera is. So we maybe move the camera over to here at some point. We can play around with that. We've got a door here which again doesn't open. But this door over here, well, it doesn't open, but let me let you in on a secret. I can pass through walls. At least doors. So if I go over here, and you'll see that not only can I pass through walls, so can you. If I go over here, voila, here we are. And, oh, what's that over there? There seems to be someone moving on that screen there. So what is going on this screen? Well, let me show you. Say hello to Unity, and specifically what the stream actually looks like. So you can see there are a bunch of empty rooms around. You can see that I can go through the screen and go through walls and everything, but we're going to fix that today. We're going to fix some of the colliders. I want to play around with getting the doors over here to open when I get near them. I'm going to try tidying things up a bit, because at the moment all this down here at the bottom is a bit of a mess. It's just all thrown in there. So I want to organise that a bit and try and make it so that the cameras actually behave a bit better, so that we can correctly switch between cameras as and when needed, because ideally we want to only have one camera be visible, and at the moment I'm having to do some manual stuff. For example, to switch to the camera that we're on now, I had to manually click that in Unity, which is not going to be very useful. However, there have been a few changes since I last showed this off. The first is that the cameras switch properly. We have the green screen now, and the green screen is actually... we've made it a bit bigger. We've made the entire room bigger. Over here it used to be sloped, but I've remodeled that bit and made things a lot nicer. All the cameras are in place for at least this part of the stream, and yeah, this is looking fairly good. So what we are going to do is we are going to switch over to the version of the stream that isn't this, and work a bit on our stream. So we switch over to the 2D mode and turn this off. So what we want to do is update what we're going to do today. So camera tracking on the bridge is done. Chroma keying the screen is done. I want a look control on the bot so I can look around. We also want make the bot better box texture. So we want a better texture so that it isn't just the face on all faces. We want to make it actually look a bit more like the bot. What we may do is a very, very simple version of the 3D bot, where we'll do just a cube at the bottom that has I suppose we could do a very simple version that is more than just a box. So yeah, we may play around with that. We also want the camera toggle in the conference room. So what we want to do first is we're going to tidy up and then get all this camera stuff working. So tidy up, we've got our scenes there. We've got settings, tutorial info, what do we have in here? Bunch of stuff that we don't actually need, so we can delete those. Now in assets, what we want to do is we want create folder. And this folder is going to be scripts. I'm going to create another folder which is going to be models, and in here there's going to be a folder which is going to be upper deck. So if we go here, we've got the ship interior, we've got the ship doors. They're going to go into upper deck. Player input is going to stay up for now because that's going to go into scripts. think we can delete. Probably not. So I'm going to take that, and that, and we want a new folder. Pilkybot. I'm gonna stick a materials folder in here. Right. We can delete that. Want to keep that. Right, that's all done. So, what we need is, I think we want a camera script. Let's have a look here. If I open a new window, let's go. What do I want to do? No. Unity state machine. Right. So here we have our world over. Update method. So on. Let's learn Cinemachine together. So to blend settings, defines how to blend from one virtual camera to another. Layer filter, event, manufacturing phase events when it changes shot. And to resolve blends and update the camera in light update. Goes live and there is no blend. We'll have the golden event fires on the first frame of the blend. Right, so I think we want some custom blends, because I mean this, I just play this, we zoom in, if I go, that is a fairly okay blend. But this one could be faster. So what we're going to do is here we're going to create asset. I'm going to save it in assets, camera. Alright, so if you go from conference cam to stream focus cam, we can delete that one. It'll take 2 seconds. And from screen focus cam to conference cam take 2 seconds. So let's use that to a second. Let's see what this is like. I've just realised that these probably won't save because we're in player mode, but okay. So that looks alright. If we disable that. Oh no. They are persisted. That is good. Okay. So now that we have that, what we probably want is we've got animation movement controller, and we currently have this toggle camera. Now, what we probably want is maybe something like a camera manager. It's a coach to chat. A manager currently oversees many virtual cameras, what acts as a single virtual camera from the point of view of the cinema machine brain timeline. So, relook camera provides third-person camera experience. So that basically just goes around the mixing camera. Uses the weighted average of its child virtual cameras to compute its position and other properties of the camera. One list just goes for a thing, clear shot. View the shot, clear shots at complex multi coverage you've ever seen. And when the animation type changes state, for example, because you have to look at motion and camera. I don't think we want any of these. I think we just want to manually manage. Right, so I think what we may need is I need a camera manager, and that is going to hold all of our cameras, so that we can always have one activated. That is going to be like the main camera, and all the others should be deactivated. And then what we are going to do is then we can have colliders which call into that, and the colliders are going to be these basically use toggle camera, where I can have a collider there, I can have a collider covering the bridge, but maybe there's another collider here so that when it walks into this collider it switches to a camera in there. Yeah, let's try that. So we want create a C# script. I'm gonna call this camera. Call it camera director. And this is where I need to basically relearn C# because I haven't used C# in a long time. But what we can do is the camera director. The camera director can basically be a state machine, and we can have various states. It can choose whether it goes between different states, because for example, let's say we just have one camera for the bridge, one camera for here, one camera for that, and we've got our two cameras over here. So if we're in here, the state is bridge. Now from this state I should be able to go to this state, or our wide shot state here. That's all fine. But I should not be able to go from this state to this state, or from this state to this state, and so on. There's also a thing of how the states are set to. So we can use colliders to say, if you are in this box, go into a certain state. But there are some states that we want to manually do. Ones where I'm going to press something on the keyboard and it should focus on it. So I am going to want to have states that I can go into, but I can't go into or out of unless it's manually. So it's like collider states will be lesser than sort of manual states where some sort of button press has taken me into that. So I believe what we want is going to be an enum camera state. And what we are going to have, at some point I do need to actually go through and do some customization on Visual Studio and see how it works, because for example, view, we can zoom in. Let's zoom in there so that you can see a bit more clearly what I am doing. So we're going to have bridge. We're going to have conference room. I'm going to have conference room screen. Now at the top we want a level. I want a camera state, and that is initially going to be set to camera state dot bridge. I'm going to have a void update state collider state a forever. Collider, state to camera state. This is what I mean. Command backspace is currently. Let's see if I can change that. Preferences, keyboard. Shortcuts. Let's set that there. No, that's still doing. There we go. I've got a delete key. Why do I need to do command backspace to do that? Right, so Collider update state to camera state. And actually, no, we can do void update state. We can have camera state, new state, and then boolean initiated. We can do state equals new state. So that is going to be our basic thing. But what we also want is private bool. This is where Swift will be so much nicer because the enum. I'm assuming that you can't add functions to enums on C# enum. No, doesn't look like it. So what I would do is add, if this was Swift, I'd add a func can move to state, camera state, and I'd basically add that there, switch on self, and be able to handle it there, but instead we have to do it in here. Can move between states. Camera state, camera state, state. If from state is equal to state, then true. Right. Right. Actually need those. So game object. We want bridge camera. We want conference camera. And what we also want is current camera. But I'm gonna set that to false because we don't want it to update the state, because you can't move from yourself to another state technically. And what we're going to do is current camera dot set active false. I'm going to switch on state case bridge is going to be do side. Here I was thinking that Microsoft development tools were meant to be smarter than Apple's. Right. Right, and what we want on here is a new empty, which is going to be camera. Oh, right, what do we want? Scripts. Right, what I want to find was a YouTube video I watched. Yeah. Okay, so this is from Terrell Dev, where he has a new folder which we're going to call Abilities. I'll create this and just call this Singleton. And actually what I can do take a screenshot of that. And then, can I... Well, let's copy as much of that as we can. Oh, we don't want. Let's go back over here. There. And can I now copy that? Go over to here. Done. Photos. And that's still copying all of that. Why is it copying stuff that is... I copy that. Okay. Hi, Mr. B. How are you doing? Because I am currently copy pasting C# code from a YouTube video. I've taken a screenshot of a YouTube video on my iPad and I'm using live text and continuity to essentially copy the code over. It probably would have been faster just typing it out, but oh well. Right. So if I paste that in, that game object. So how are you doing this evening, Mr. B? Let's compile. Nope. Fully abstract class, static instance, model behavior where T is model behavior blah, static T instance, get private stat, virtual void, wake instance equals this T, void on application quit, and destroy. Turn 10. Well, the clean single A cross clean 10. Your iOS version was approved 2 minutes ago and the macOS in review for now. Well, I mean, that's still fairly quick, so hopefully it goes through, but the Mac one may take longer because it's new, I'd assume, but fingers crossed it all goes through okay. Though it is Apple and it is app review, so they will probably reject you for some reason that is completely ridiculous, but fingers crossed. Right. So, if I go back to YouTube and have a look what they've done here. Okay, so if I make my camera director a single turn of camera director, then from here I should be able to do camera dot instance dot make it public. Click update state. Oh, because camera director. Sorry, because the enum in my camera director. So what I'm currently doing, is sorting out the cameras for my 3D overlay. So I will show you in a second, because I'm hoping that I can get some of this working. So that's public. That's public, so I should hopefully be able to do update state. Alright, let's rename this to camera state collider. Oh, yeah, camera state collider. We don't care about that. We don't care about that anymore. Nor do we care about that. Instead, what we want is camera state, which is camera state. Right. So we got this here. We can get rid of the exit. The enter. We are going to let's go into wireframe. So shift this back. So hopefully we have that, and then what we want is cameras. Oh, we haven't updated that to state slider. If we set that to conference room, and then create an empty parent, and these are going to be camera colliders, conference. I'm going to duplicate this, and this one is going to be bridge. And bridge is going to be... I am building my overlay in Unity. I will show you what it currently looks like once I get this done, because I think this should work. Because this one I will set to bridge. Okay. So on bridge, the camera set should go to bridge, and then it should go to conference room. So let's see if this runs. Null reference exception. On camera director, update camera. Oh yes. Interesting. Why is that? Not a camera director. Why not? Bug.log. Switch to bridge camera. Log, switch to conference camera. So why on earth right, so it's switching to conference camera, but player has Coppice entered the room plus camera state. Alright, let's see if this will now build. Oh, it's still... Entered room... Bridge. But it's switching to the conference. Oh, because I'm upsetting it there. I want to be using camera. Right. I was passing in conference room there rather than camera state. Okay. So, if we start again. There we go. And if I switch over. So. Hello, Mr. B. Welcome to my spaceship. So, as you can see, I am just a box at the moment. A box that has 4 faces, though hopefully we'll fix that later today, depending on... probably not today, because I want to get the doors opening, because at the moment, as you'll see, the doors will not open, I'll just pass through them. But you can see I have a camera set up, and this follows me around, and this camera was pretty much zero code setup. I haven't actually got that much code in this entire thing. But what I'm hoping will happen is when I go through these doors, I will then enter one of my new camera state colliders that I built, which is covering there. And what that should do is disable the camera I have now and enable a camera in there, and Unity should then do the animation between the two. So, and it works. And you can see up here I have what is a green screen. If I go into my filters here and just turn off that, you can see we have just a basic green screen there, and at the moment the other camera that I have is down here, where if I enable it, it will zoom in so that you can actually see what is going on my screen, and then I'll be able to move back out again, move around the room, and so on. So what I would like to do is get that hooked up, because all I'm using at the moment, I've got a PlayStation controller hooked up to my Mac. So what I would like to do is when I press the triangle button, if I'm in a room that has a toggleable thing, it should toggle between it. So what I would like to do is in fact in here oh, it's probably gonna have to be in the camera director, I assume. So what I can do, well, one thing I can do is enable this so you can see it a bit better. So what I want to do is here we can get player input, and we can get character controller. So copy that to here. Well, yeah, glad you're liking it. This is actually all inspired by Swift. So they have, I don't know if they were the first, but they have definitely pushed this a lot more than anyone else of building your building an overlay in Unity, having something that you can actually control and move around in. So it's pretty cool what they have built. I have put those in the wrong file. They need to be in here. So delete that and bring that across to here. Oh. Saving, reset, camera. In fact, can I, while I'm in here, if state is equal, oh, switch, state, case, so if the from state is bridge, then this is where Swift would have made this a lot nicer. Conference room. Screen. So from conference room, you cannot go to conference room, but you can go to bridge. You can go to conference room screen. From conference room screen, you can't go to there. You can't go to bridge, but you can only go to conference room if user initiated. But it might actually be, I wonder if it would be better if I passed in the camera state collider. I'm just going to go refill my drink. I'm going to get back. I'm going to play around this because it may make more sense to take this collider so that we can configure stuff on each of these, and then we pass these into the director, and the director then can pull the information it needs off. Because then you could have a camera state and you could have a toggle state. And then if we have this here, this handles if the input comes in for the toggle, then what it can do is look at the current camera state collider and then pull the state out of there for the toggle, if there is one. So yeah, we will do that in a few minutes once I get a fresh glass of water. See you in a little bit. Okay, so I am back with a fresh drink and a strepsil because I appear to be coming down with, I believe, a cold, which is not ideal, but what can you do? So if we head back into here, so what I want to do is I'm gonna have camera state and I want a possible alternate camera state. If we save this, we will stop this playing and head over to our 2D screen for now. Sadly, it seems that C# is not smart enough to realise that you should never get to the breakpoints because you should be returning unless enums in C# are not exhaustive, or at least switch statements aren't. So we go into here. Now, can we go into there? Can you have an optional enum? You cannot. Okay, well, then the alternate is just going to be there. So, what we can do here is on the conference room, we can set our alternate to conference room screen. Ah. I wonder if I can get rid... Maybe I have to get rid of this... Yeah, I should be able to. I should be able to get rid of the entire state machine entirely. So what I can do is, rather than have these as states, what I can do is have these as cameras. So we can have camera state, alternate camera state. Now we're still going to need a camera director, but when you enter a camera collider, it's going to pass itself in. And this is going to set itself to the main camera state. But the camera director is also going to maintain a toggle. So when you go to a new thing, it's going to make the toggle false again. But it's going to track when I press the triangle button on my PlayStation controller and be able to switch between these on whatever collider it currently has. So main camera object, alternate camera, switch to this. Then, rather than current camera, we're going to have the current camera. No, we want current camera, but we also want camera state collider, which is going to be the current collider. We no longer need to store these. We no longer need the state up there. We do want these. We want to switch to collider, camera state, collider, collider. So we don't need any of this state code. We don't need our enum anymore. Update. Okay, I'm going to move for now. And what we're going to do initial collider is going to be a public game object, because we're going to set that and I'm going to this dot switch to collider. Current collider. So we also want to have a boolean use alternate, and that should equal false. So what this is going to do is current camera dot set active false. So we actually no, because we need to so I want to switch to use alternate equals false, current collider equals new collider, and then we want update private void update camera, and then we're going to do this dot current camera dot set active false. I don't know why sometimes hitting enter doesn't actually do a completion, but I want to set the current camera to false, and then what we're going to do well, actually we're going to work out the new camera. So game object new camera equals null. If use alternate, then new camera equals this dot current collider dot alternate camera else camera dot current collider dot main camera. If new camera equals this dot current camera return, because we don't want to do anything if the cameras are the same, and then this dot new camera dot set active true, so current camera equals new camera. Okay, so the next thing we need from here is, let's see, on toggle. So this is going to be this dot use alternate, no, there's a toggle there, equals not this dot use alternate, this dot update camera. And what I want to do is go into my player input over here, and I'm just going to rename that to toggle camera. Saves, that should regenerate the player input stuff there. Actually, we don't need the character controller here. What's it? And started. See, that's what I mean. On. Toggle. And do that. There. Oh, switch to collider. Initial. Right, so that may not work. Let's see. It's smart enough to do that. So for here, so we want to set that to the bridge camera, and then in the conference room we want to set that to conference cam and to our screen focus cam. We want to do that. And the camera director initial is there, so right, let's see how this runs. The only thing is whether it passes in the initial collider correctly. Okay, so I'm moving it around. Don't know why. Why are display? Right. To display stat. Why? Unity debug mode. Right, so let me switch over to the game view and I can show you what I am currently looking at. So I have this debug thing over here, and I have no idea how I have brought it up. Because there's a separate stats thing over here. I can do stuff like turn off anti-aliasing, that doesn't seem much. In-game debug. Bug tools. I genuinely have no idea how I've managed to bring this up. In the entering debug. Ah! Press both joystick controllers in at once. Okay, so I am over here. Pressing that triangle does nothing. Let's see what happens when I head into here. We head over to there. Right, so unfortunately, pressing triangle is not doing anything. So why is that the case? How? That's all. Value. Okay. So what I need to do is debug.log. I'm just going to print out make camera director. And then I'm going to print debug.log toggle camera. Okay. And off and turn it on again. Okay, so we're working, but we are not invoking on toggle. Call back. Okay, let's add in. Alright. Oh, let's see what happens when I press B. No, we're not getting any. Oh, do I need to? Copy this over. There we are. So toggle camera is now showing up. If I head over to here, I'm now in here, and I can press triangle to toggle between camera views. Excellent. And then if I go out here, it takes me back to there, and if I go in, I can toggle straight in because it will interpolate between the two. As I head out, it goes there. I head in, but it's going there. It's going to that one instead. Sweet. That is pretty fantastic. So I think what I am going to do now is I'm going to finally create a Git repository for all this, because it will be very useful not to have this all break. Version control. not going to use unities. Right. Where are we? Well, this was just going to be a test without before I created the repo, but then it's sort of built up into something more. What am I doing? Revealing Finder. Right, so what do these actually contain? What I could do with looking for is a Unity Git I did not know that GitHub had a gitignore repository. So you have, and we have Unity there, so we'll take a look at that in a second. Smalltalk, Swift. All of that stuff for timelines, any build, Fastlane, Carthage, Cocoa Pods. These are quite useful. So we have a gitignore there. So what I'm going to do is create new local repository, and it is going to be a stream overlay. Right, repository. What is going on here? Yeah. Stream overlay. So we've got all of this stuff here. So we're going to settings, ignores opening editor, and then what we'll just do is copy contents, paste. And then if we go back here, we want to also throw in .ds store. Right, I need to find out what is a blend1 file. What is a blend1 file? So it's kind of back up when you hit Control S, back and save over the last save normally. What Blend does, I rename that previous save to Blend1, adding a number on the file extension. In fact, go here, add us into Blender. but we can add that and one. Is that not updated? Oh, got it there. Oh yeah, we need to unstage all. Stage all. Oh. Still showing up. Oh yeah, it needs to be that. So we have assets, manifest, project settings, assets, scripts. Okay. Initial commit. So we have that all committed in. So I think the next thing to take a look at might be our not showing up. See, this is part of the problem. I'm having to actually use a screen capture at the moment. And this is where the new display capture will come in. Because if I pick up and start moving around, I start moving around instantly. So you'll see I move and I can see myself move. Well, as you can see very well, if you watch me moving back and forth on here, you can see, if I'll zoom in, you can see my bot moving back and forth there. Now, let me disable the game capture, but bring up the window capture, and on here filters, I'm going to enable chroma key on that. Right, the lag isn't too bad at the moment, but actually that's fairly usable right now. I was guessing it where there was almost like a 4-second delay, and I could see, I would put the inputs in and see it on the camera, but then it would take a few seconds before OBS would actually pick it up. So you could actually see on OBS that the character would start moving on the screen, on the display capture in Unity, but the actual window capture would take longer. So there was like a lag, and you could actually see it on stream because the display capture was working far faster than the window capture. So I'm hoping Screen Capture Kit will fix a lot of that. But let's stop this. What I would like to do right. So I've built it. Player setting graphics. Ah, yeah, that'll be why it's running slow, because So, I was looking at some performance things, I've got a video on this, and at the moment, everything is being done in real time. So, if I bring this up and play, actually I've got the lag, so I can show you the lag now. So can you see how my character on the screen moves and then they move in front? And I have no idea why it does that. But if I switch to using a display capture that crops down, it's perfect. Let's see what happens if I show... I wonder if it's something between Unity and OBS that's messing up a window capture. No, that is slow again. And then it's back. So odd. Oh well, display capture works, and until Apple gets their stuff in, I will have to do it this way. But as I'm moving around, all the lighting is being rendered on the fly. So for example, all the shadows on the wall and everything are all fixed on the ground, they're all there. And the thing is, a lot of the time the shadows will be fixed. You won't need to change them, and a lot of the lighting and stuff will be fixed. Like if I go over towards here, there's a bit of a shadow appearing when I get close, but most of the time that's fixed. But every frame it's having to calculate all of that, and what you can do is something called baking the lighting and baking the textures. What baking does is, rather than having the texture that it then lights, it basically pre-does all that, calculates it all in advance and can do it to a higher quality level, and then all it's sticking on there is a texture that has all the lighting and stuff already baked in. And displaying the texture is really cheap comparatively, compared to displaying the texture and then lighting it and doing all these other things. So if it can do all that in advance, it speeds things up. So doing all this live is pretty intensive. Now, can I actually view? So I thought it might have been... Right, so we've got a left wall here. I'll have to look up how to do proper occlusion, because ideally when we're in here, none of this over here should be rendering. And when we're in there, none of this over here should be rendering. So that would speed things up as well. So we will see how things go. But here we have some doors. And what I would like to do is open said doors up in Unity. Not Unity, in Blender. And if we bring this across, okay. Now what I am curious of, if I go to stats, what are we looking at in terms of frame rates? So the frame rates don't seem too bad. That is Blender. Should be Apple Silicon. So Unity's Apple Silicon. Yellow Tube isn't. Stream Deck isn't. Blender is Apple Silicon. So most stuff on here is Apple Silicon. Ironically, Unity Hub isn't, even though the Unity editor is. What do I have that's Intel? Yeah, pretty much all the stuff I have that seems to be Intel seems to be related to streaming. It's either Elgato stuff, OBS stuff, Viado Tube. There's a few bits of Unity stuff, but everything else is Apple Silicon. So that's better than the transition from Intel was, because I mean I was surprised how quickly Adobe transitioned some of their apps, because it took them like 18 months, I think, to get a beta version of Photoshop native on Intel on the Mac. Of course, it's probably helped a bit in Adobe's case by, I mean, the Mac is a lot bigger than it was during the Intel transition. But also, Apple, with Adobe putting stuff onto iPad, probably had some code that they could reuse, and was probably looking at ARM anyway because of like Microsoft and so on. Alright, so let's have a look at this. So what we want to do is so we want the action editor, and we're going to add a new action, and we're going to call this action open. And aha. On the okay, we'll call it open, and what we are going to do is set keyframe or location. Set keyframe for location. And then probably if you're doing 30 frames a second on the animation, let's G Y big are the 0.65, so we do it 0.5, so if I do GY 0.5 and GY minus 0.5 I location. Oh, it toggle open. Yeah. I want to end this at 30. So, go here. Now we'll be able to play it in reverse. If I save this, I should be able to go here. On the ship doors. Let's see. Let's do it. So they bring it in. That. And they okay, so we need to add an animator to ship doors. We're going to need to create an animator controller for open. Click, get here, so now we can drag. Okay, well we can plug that in. Okay. So we drag the animator to there. So you drag that into the editor, define default animation, play it automatically, game and scene starts. Okay, so on here, that. So if we stop and start, that's going to interesting. So they have to animation controller. It'll click to open it. Oh. Aha! Because I added the animator while I was in playback mode. So if I go like that and then I build, is it going to open them? Hey! They open! Okay, so now I need to know Unity, invoke animation on collider trigger. Okay, so probably don't need to use an animation controller, so let's delete that. And what we are going to do on the ship doors is add a collider, box collider, and we are going to add a script. New script, and we're going to call this script. What are we going to call this script? Let's call it door animate. And add. Alright, so we're going to edit the collider. And the collider probably like that. Set it up as a trigger. And now I want to go into here. So trigger enter. And trigger exit. So what we want is make sure that it is the player who is going to do this. Other. Right. So in those cases, in start, we want to do animation, animation. This door animation equals get component animation. So if we do that, that should and then animation dot play Alright, so we start this and move over to there. Okay, so that isn't triggering. And that needs to be debug.log. Debug.log on enter and on exit. Alright. because as always I added that right. Mesh, no, box collider, and add door animation. So for the collider it is a trigger and expand it up. Up. Try this one last time.
Synthesis complete.
Okay, so it's saying there is no animation attached to it. Animation state scene cannot be played because it could not be found. Let's just play and rewind then. Default clip could not be found in attachment animations. If that could not. Right, I think I'm going to need to learn a bit more about animation, but I mean the animation's there and the collider setup, I just need to know how to actually invoke it. So I think I'm going to leave it there, but I want to thank you all for coming and having a look with me through ship. We've got some stuff working, we've got the cameras working, we've fixed a few bits and pieces here and there, and we've got a door animation in there, and it can actually sort of work in Unity, but we just need to find a way to play it. So I will figure that out possibly tomorrow in time for stream on Saturday this week. We're not streaming on Friday, we're streaming on Saturday, so okay. Well, I want to thank you all for coming. And I think what we'll do is we'll go and let's go and raid Kurzak. Go and say hello to Kurzak. So, raid Kurzak, start raid. So, wrong button. So, thank you all for coming today. I hope you have all enjoyed this. It is the start of a new stream era. We are ready to move along and get bits and pieces working on the stream, so we'll see how things go, what I managed to get done messing around Thursday and Friday evenings off stream, but I will be back on Saturday for our normal stream where we'll probably be working on Streamline. And yes, it's been a lot of fun. And as always, happy coding.